Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, I know 2024 has been crazy for a lot of people. Everything is going up, right? The price of gas, the price of food, the price of rent, everything is going up. And a lot of people are asking, man, why is this? Well, guess what? The banks play a big reason as to the reason why everything is going crazy and the prices are going up right now. And in this video, I want to share with you certain secrets that the banks don't want you to know that you definitely want to learn about that can help you overcome some of the madness that's going on right now. So without any further ado, let's tap on.
This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the YouTube channel for another great episode. I am your main man, your blueprint mastermind, where in this channel we give you everything about personal finance, entrepreneurship, building your business, and more importantly, giving you the blueprint to success. All right. Listen, if this is your first time tuning into the channel, do me a huge favor right now. Take a quick second, hit the subscribe button. You definitely want to stay up to date when we drop videos like this. Hit the bell notification so you get notified as well too, because we're going to give you the sauce as always to be able to go ahead and level up in life as well as learn about financial freedom and getting your business on point. All right. Well, like I mentioned earlier, guys, listen, the banks are not your friend. Okay. A lot of people have a big misconception about banks that, they're an institution or a place for you to go ahead and just store your money and, withdraw your money whenever you need it. Right. Well, that's far from the truth. Okay. These banks, they have a whole different mindset. They are businesses just like any other major business out there, whether it's Nike, Walmart, Amazon, where they are here to generate profit. They are here to make money. All right. These especially publicly traded banks. And guess what? Who are the banks are looking to make money off of? Us, everyday people just like me and you. Right. And that's why in this video, I want to share with you guys certain secrets that banks have been withholding from us. And they've been using these secrets in order to further profit and feed their income generating machine as well, too. All right. So first thing first, the first secret that banks don't want you to know about is that they profit from our ignorance. And yes, I say our ignorance because this is 99% of the people that's out there right now. Banks rely on the fact that consumers simply don't understand how the banking system works, which is crazy because a lot of us that were students in school, they don't teach us how the banking industry works, right? But, banks make money from things such as fees, interest rates, as well as hidden costs that they embed in their disclosure and the accounts that we open up with them, right? Now, what is the way how some of the banks are able to do this? They do it from a system that's called fractional banking, which I'm going to share with you guys. All right. And fractional banking is basically when the banks are required to only hold of the funds that's deposited into their institution and holding reserves. So what does that mean? When you typically deposit, say you deposit $1,000 into the bank, under federal law, they don't have to hold that entire $1,000 in their vault. They could actually hold a small portion of it, say like $100, and they're able to loan out the remaining 900, but they can do so at a higher interest rate than what they're paying you to hold the money. Set of individuals, or there's two of individuals that banks label us as: the depositors, where individuals go and open up an account and deposit their money into the bank, and borrowers, where individuals go and borrow money from the bank for things such as loans, credit cards, or mortgages or auto loans, right? See, the problem is when you deposit your money inside of a bank, when you're a depositor, the bank only pays you a very small, minuscule amount to deposit your money and hold your money into their institution. Typically, it's around the range of 2% or below that. But borrowers, they will take that same money that you've deposited and loaning out to individuals at a much higher interest rate, typically at a 10, 15, or 20x amount than what they're paying out to depositors, right? And this is called an interest rate spread, where this is the difference from the amount that they receive as a deposit versus what they pay to borrowers. And this is how banks leverage this particular fractional banking system to be able to go ahead and further enrich themselves as well as feed their profit making machine, right? Banks also make money by investing the money that you deposit into their institution as well. Think about it. Just like how your typical savvy investor like Warren Buffett or Bill or other hedge funds make their money by investing their clients' money, the banks operate under that same method as well too. But typically, instead of investing it in risky, they'll invest it in safe assets such as government securities, bonds, as well as other securities like insurance, right? Knowing these things is the first line of defense to be able to protect yourself from the ignorance that the banks prey upon us in order for them to enrich themselves. Again, banks, they're publicly traded companies. Their job is to make money for their shareholders. They're just like any other business. So it's very important to understand this so you're not being kept in the dark and you're not being one of the many that the bank hoping that you're ignorant to some of these facts so they can go ahead and utilize this ignorance to their benefit. All right. Now, the second secret I want to share with you, a lot of banks withhold from individuals, and another secret that they hold is that your savings account is actually not your savings account. In other words, most savings accounts offer a lower interest rate than what inflation actually is, meaning over time, your money actually loses value the longer that you hold it inside of a savings account. All right. Let's put this in perspective. Consumer prices have risen nearly 22% since February of 2020, since the last recession that we, the pandemic, right? However, annual inflation has risen nearly 2.4% since 2021. So if you put that in perspective, guys, the same amount of goods that you would have spent back in 2020 would have cost you $1,000, whether it's the same amount of groceries, gas, and everything. $1,000 of the amount of consumer goods you spent back in 2020 now cost nearly $1,300 today. And of course, the problem with that is that a little bit of inflation is good. A little bit of inflation is required because inflation actually helps stimulate the economy. That's how businesses are able to grow, hire more people. They're able to invest and be able to expand the economy. However, the problem, what we're experiencing today is when you have too much and too high inflation, there's consequences to that, right? And the consequences to that is that there's too little to be able to for emergencies. It affect retirement as well as affect investment opportunities for the normal individuals out there, which a lot of people are experiencing nowadays. So like I've mentioned earlier, savings accounts not a great option to store your money in, not a great store of value, right? I highly encourage you to go ahead and check out a previous video that I dropped over a month ago where I listed a few different high yield savings accounts and different alternatives you guys can explore out there to get a higher interest rate than what the banks are able to offer you. And these high yield savings accounts, there's also other wealth building strategies and things such as index funds and other insurance products that you guys can tap into to be able to leverage your money and compound your money versus keeping it into a savings account. Again, the worst thing you can do, guys, is put your money into a regular savings account. That is not the way to build generational wealth or put yourself in the ladder of building financial freedom. All right, so let's keep it moving.
If your credit ain't high and it's actually down, the time to take action is now. Yeah. If your credit ain't high and it's actually down, The time to take action is now. Go get control of your credit or go and repair.
Listen, I've been getting a lot
down. Oh yes, to show you the leverage, to show you can get a new rider. Go get you a house, just so you don't feel disparaged, you don't feel embarrassed. It's right, so go get it done now. Don't survive through the week, go improve, get it up. Want a life full of freedom to do what you want. He's a guy that you need, he's a dude that you want. Not 5 minus 3, that's 2, number 1. Guy you will see if you hit him up. He'll help with devotion, this I am sure of. Updates, promotions, discounted courses. Work with him anywhere, buddies in Florida.
Yes, believe it or not, banks are out here and are hoping to keep the masses into debt. Why you say that, Wes? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason how the banks wants to keep you in debt, and that's how they are able to profit from the interest rate that they're charging you for the products that they're giving you, right? Whether it's a credit card, a loan, or a mortgage, keeping you in is the ultimate tool for them, right? Like I always mention in my previous videos, credit is the most powerful tool to possess in this country, but abusing that credit, right, is actually what the banks are relying on for them to be able to stay into business. Take, for example, a $15,000 credit card debt at an 18% interest. Within 4 years, that credit card debt will balloon to over $30,000, nearly double the amount or double the amount than what the original amount that the bank has loaned you originally. All right. And guess what? At the end of the day, if you don't end up satisfying that debt, the banks have all the power in the world to sue you, to garnish your wages, even go as far as putting a lien on your home as well. So that's why it's always in the best interest for the banks to keep you in debt. So with that being said, you want to go ahead and do what it takes to exercise money management and avoid placing yourself into debt, because again, you're just putting yourselves in the positions of what the banks want you to be at the end of the day. Being strategic with debt, like inflation, debt can be a good thing, but not consumer debt, but wealth building debt, whether you're going to acquire debt, income generating assets, or building passive income. That is the route that you want to leverage debt for, and not for consumer debt that a lot of us fall victim to and what the banks rely on so they can continue enriching themselves. Now, last but not least, I want to share with you guys, the banks can change the rules at any time, right? At any time. Generally, yes, the banks do have the power to adjust the terms and conditions, interest rates, as well as even close your accounts without even giving you prior notice. And this is sad because a lot of us may have heard in the news how certain institutions have been closing people's bank accounts or cutting limits of credit cards because of, a few bad apples out there. Well, in my opinion, that is not a valid excuse, because that would be the same as Walmart or any major retailer closing their businesses because of shoplifting, or a sports league like the NBA or NFL shutting down their league because of players' injuries, right? These are all things that are factored into the business model of these institutions and associations. So it's the same thing with banks as well, too. Banks do factor in there's going to be a certain amount of fraud, theft that goes into their business model. But they use these excuses to be able to go ahead and do things without prior notice and affect the majority of their clients and consumers when it comes to raising interest rates, increasing fees, as well as closing individuals' accounts or products without prior notice, right? So when you understand the power that the banks hold, and when they start behaving like this is when it's time for you guys to take action, so you're not being victimized and you're not being caught with the whole banana in the tailpipe trick when it comes to leveraging your money as well as trying to build wealth. All right. So now, of course, I have shared with you guys some of the secrets. There's plenty more secrets that a lot of these banks are doing nowadays, but I felt like these four are the main secrets that a lot of the banks are doing nowadays. And I want to go ahead and help you guys overcome some of these things that the banks are doing by sharing this information with you. Again, number one, banks definitely rely on our ignorance. Knowledge is power, guys. That is your first line of defense to be able to protect yourself, not only just from what the banks are doing, but also just from the economics of what society and what life has against you. Acquiring the knowledge and applying the knowledge is definitely the first step in protecting yourself from what some of these institutions are hoping that you don't know, so they can further leverage that ignorance to their benefit. Also, number two, your savings account is not your savings account, guys. Go ahead and leverage other wealth building strategies and tactics out there. All right. There's plenty different ways on how you can go ahead and generate income for yourself versus using a savings account as a store of value. All right. Listen, your savings account is not going to help you build wealth. That is the bottom line, right? Your savings account is not meant for you to build wealth. It's just simply no better than having a checking account. Honestly, it's an account where you just basically want to limit your transactions and keep a few dollars on there. Now, the third thing I want to mention, the banks also want to keep you in debt. All right. Again, it's in their best interest to charge you more interest than the money that they're keeping with their depositors. Someone has to go ahead and use their credit card. Someone has to go ahead and use their loan. Someone has to sign up for their mortgage products, right? So the interest that they make from these products is how they are able to stay in business. And that's why they're able to charge these high interests. Believe it or not, banks are salivating the thought of you defaulting on a loan, not being able to make the monthly payments, so they can repossess the asset, charge their clients for maintaining, repossessing, or servicing that asset, simply so you can put it back out in the marketplace again and charge the same high exorbitant interest rate that they're known to charge each and every one of their clients. Okay. They have the power to change the rules at any time. The banks are simply there like the government. They're too big to fail. So the banks, they're not going to go ahead and let each other fail, right? Remember when there was SunTrust, what happened? It rebranded to Truist. Remember there was Washington Mutual. Guess what? It just rebranded to Wells Fargo. So remember there was Wachovia. It just rebranded itself. So a lot of these banks, they're too big to fail, guys. So they have the ability of changing the rules, reinventing themselves, all to the detriment of clients and individuals like ourselves. So therefore, it's very, very important to understand the power that the banks hold and how you can take the power back by leveraging and negotiating lower terms. Hey, go inside of the bank. Let them know that you would like to negotiate a lower term. You've been a satisfactory client with them. If they're not willing to budge, you could take your business elsewhere. The banks are businesses just like any business out there, which the clients have the ultimate power. If they lose clients, they lose depositors, they're going to have to end up pivoting and doing what it takes to satisfy the clients, right? Again, you have the ultimate power. If Walmart ends up losing 50% of shoppers, guess what? They have no choice but to bend to the shoppers' demands to be able to go ahead and win back those shoppers. So have that same mentality with these banks, and therefore you won't be able to be victimized by some of these tricks and some of these things that they're doing that's been hurting us for quite some time. Okay. Listen, if you got a lot of great value from this video, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. We drop videos like this to help individuals, to empower individuals so they're able to build the blueprint of success as well as achieve financial freedom. Also, if there's anything you felt I've left out in this video, drop it in the comment. I do check the comments regularly, so I do respond to comments. I would definitely like to go ahead and help you guys out on any questions that you may have. Last but not least, check out the link down below if you are hurting on your credit, if you want to be able to get to the next level. Listen, credit is the most important financial tool you will possess in this country. Check out the Credit the Game website and the Credit the Game Academy, which is a private academy that we've launched to help individuals to go ahead and repair, build, and leverage their credit to receive up to $100,000 in funding. If you're someone that's being hurt by credit, your personal credit is holding you back from getting to that next level, book a consultation with somebody from my team and we'll definitely help you get to that next level. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay safe, stay dangerous. And as always, we're going to catch you on the flip side. Take care. Peace.
Blueprint. Yeah. This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement. Yep, West Paul with Blueprint. This guests are exclusive. Get on and tune in and then learn some new tips about credit, finance, investment. A nice chance to get rich and buy land. Flip it, quick 9 bands. Learn all the skills from Wes, he did it. Learn how to build successful business. Run up a mill and get the digits. Run up a mill. Look, safe place where guests are speaking. Based off financial freedom. All facts, no cap, believe it. Podcast, you have to see it.